COP26, the Paris Climate Agreement, SDGs, climate change, climate action. All this is a conversation we've had across the year since we started the show in January. We've been trying to take a look at how we can better exist and coexist with the environment, and I'm here joined by people who are well versed in those matters. On my right is Dennis Kimani, of course, the chairman of the Youth Green Society. Kando yake pale is Beatrice Ndisha, who is also from MK Africa and also founder of what did you say it is?
Zimo Africa Group.
Zimo Africa. What is it? Tell us about it.
Zimo Africa Group is a newly founded social startup that deals with production of eco-friendly products. So right now we do straws. We grow straws, and not bamboo, by the way. We have a grass that grows and it's hollow. So ours is refining and adding some things which we're not going to talk about.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, Kenyans tutaibiwa manze.
So this is a new startup that you've how long has it been?
It's been there for 2 years now. So we are doing straws, we're doing kitchen items, we're doing beauty products. And the other arm of the startup, we do environmental awareness and climate change awareness. So we do environmental talks and environmental and climate change talks. We don't have a podcast yet, but right now we're just doing on Instagram and YouTube. But we're looking forward to advancing and having our own podcast and our own show.
Right.
Really.
Oh, nice. Those are very great goals in trying to push for that. Do you grow the grass yourself? You have a piece of land somewhere?
Yes, we
farmers?
do. Yes.
Yeah.
You want to visit?
Yeah, where is it?
In Taita Taveta. I come from Taita Taveta, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where you source all the materials from.
Yes.
Nice, good. Kimani, how are you today?
I'm good, sir.
It's been a minute since we were here.
Back to
how is the Youth Green Society?
We are doing all well. Now we are doing it as COP26 for Kenya this Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
You're doing it this Saturday. Before that, you are trying to get yourself a few votes or a lot of votes there.
Yeah.
Is this something you can tell us about?
Yeah, we are nominated in the Go Green Awards. We have 4 nominations. One is the Excellence in Waste Management. We have Green Advocacy Group of the Year. We have Young Friends of the Planet, and also vote for me as the CEO of the year in the Green Awareness.
Green Awareness CEO of the year. You've been trying to do quite some efforts. I remember you brought me a seedling in a mask. The last time we were here. Some very innovative ways, of course, of trying to conserve the environment. Now, Beatrice, if we can get back to you, what do you understand that is happening as of COP20? What unasikia COP26? COP26, what is happening, and what is your understanding of the conversations ambazo zinaendelea saizi?
Yes, thank you, Richard. COP26 is known as Conference of Parties, and it was basically started by UN, where the UN brings all the parties involved and countries to one meeting that is known as the world largest or global largest meeting on climate change. So these parties are the signatories to the UNFCCC, where the climate change things were actually happening and developed. So right now we are at COP26 because we've been having these meetings, 26 of them since like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to 26 to 26. So the 26th is held at Glasgow, where world leaders are going to meet. Not really political leaders alone, but business leaders, NGO leaders, youth activists are going to meet and discuss on ways which we can bring all the societies and communities together to reduce the emissions, the carbon emissions, and also reduce the temperature levels to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Which is what we need to be at if you are trying to be safe.
Right.
Right. So that is the conversation that is happening in Scotland, in Glasgow. And Kimani, if I can get back to you, do you feel like we have had enough of this conversation? Do you think the word is out there? A lot of people are aware of the climate crisis that is impending.
I still think that there is, as much as people understand and they have the knowledge, there's still more knowledge that should be put place, and that is the climate change brokership. The message that everyone should know about climate change, that we should have data that we can manipulate to help in the climate change, and also we should we should include all the vulnerable communities and all stakeholders from the private and even the public. This is when the climate change war shall be in line with the COP 26 of this year, which is saying for the last Paris Agreement, they were put in place that national determination contribution is the key role in making these goals of the Paris Agreement to be reached. But now with the COP26, we are seeing that they have now not saying about contribution, but actions should be put place now, not any other time in future.
Right.
It should be now.
Disha, I saw you some time back on your Instagram account, which you just mentioned, that you do some of those talks from. You saying that we are having a conversation, but we are not doing enough. Is that true?
Right.
What do you feel should be done other than having the conversation on climate action?
Yeah, I feel like sustainability issues is trending, but on the ground, on the grassroots, nothing is happening actually. You can imagine, I was actually privileged to attend the local conference of youth that was done ahead of COP, and we had environmental activists like Elizabeth Waduti, Anita Soina, and Kevin Mutai. I know you know all these activists, and we were at the Tamarind Hotel, and one of the concerns that we were actually having, I was representing Taita Taveta County, and one of the concerns that we were having is that we've been having these talks for 26 years and nothing is happening, and we are about to reach the 2030, and the Paris Agreement, we agreed that we're going to reduce our temperature levels to 1.5 before 2030. So the timelines are actually, we don't have time. So are we going to actually do away with the goals or increase the timelines? So I feel like we need to communicate, right? There's so much research, and I say this almost every time. There's so much research, climate action research that is put out there, but on the right now, if you go and ask Amamamboga what climate action is or what COP26 is, they don't know about. They have no idea about it. Right. So I feel like we need to have ways of how we can communicate to these people so that we bring them on board. Right. And like my colleague has just said, that we need to have everyone on board, the indigenous communities, everyone to be represented. But again, the problem is that these people, some of them might have these ideas of what is happening, climate change, but it's the mindset or making sustainable decisions. Like for example, yourself. You want to get to work, you're chasing money every day, you want convenience, right? You will go for something, you'll go for what, like if you want to drink water, you'll go for a plastic bottle. You don't want to an inconvenience of getting a bottle, you have to wash it, I don't know, you have to do what.
You're trying to avoid that inconvenience, but you're also inconveniencing the environment.
So I feel like leaders, and I mean business leaders, yourself, journalists, and everyone should come up with ways of how we can communicate and change mindsets. Yourselves have the especially the media houses have the biggest task to communicate these things in a way that people are able to come on board. And one of the things that was actually caught my attention, I think yesterday I was browsing in my Twitter and I found that Vanessa Nakate was meeting with Greta Thunberg and another lady, I think a leader somewhere, and then the journalist, or rather the media house, had cropped her name out, so they just reported that Greta met the world leader and Vanessa's name was not there. So I feel like even journalists and media houses need to take this act,
not
climate justice,
a trending thing in the showbiz.
Exactly. Right. So I feel like everyone needs to come on board. And
Kimani, now if everyone needs to come on board, the government also needs to come on board, which is what we are trying to rally around to ensure that governments, which are at the helm of protecting the citizens, protecting the environment, are pushing towards that. And Kenya, as of 2021, of course, a couple of things have happened in the country. We are being ranked now as the top in geothermal in Africa, and holding 5th position globally there. I'm seeing here a couple of rankings there. Of course, even individual efforts. If you've been on the roads, you've seen Nupia Rides, which is 100% electric cabs that are now currently mostly operating in Nairobi. The government also giving incentives for importation of EVs with low import duty, scrapping some of those taxes. Has enough been done by the government? And if not, is there more that can be done? You, as of course someone who's been at the top of the, looking at the youth as they try to achieve these sustainability goals.
For the sustainability and green growth, I think the government has taken steps. It's good for the electric cars, it's good for the disaster management, but now here is where I think that we are not doing good. We are not supposed to be people who are anticipating for disasters and setting up commissions to disaster manage. I am one person who is believing on standing and operating procedures. I think instead of a commission where we are saying we are waiting for a disaster to happen so that we can plan it and manage it, this is a society that is it's like wanting someone to die, because when someone is living in a downstream that is obviously in a place where floods will take place, you're supposed to relocate this person before even the floods come or even the rains. But we see the government, we wait for the floods. Now it's the time we are running to tell people relocate. Already we are supposed to have data of these places mapping out. We know that this place, it is prone to drought, so we have to like have water conservation in some way of even creating dams. These places which are lowlands, they can be good places for dams, and these people are relocated to higher places. Again, we are talking about carbon emissions, but a lot of people ourselves, we cannot wait for the government to come and tell you when you buy a sweet, don't throw that paper, or even when you drink bottled water.
That is individual effort that you should already have. That is individual
effort. And it is even good not only for carbon emission but also for authenticity. When you see bottles thrown around, it does not feel well for the eyes. So that's what I'm saying. It is even us ourselves to believe that we have the since everyone is a polluter, you're a user and polluter of the environment, but you're supposed to be the conserver of it.
Right.
So let's not be throwing things for poor waste management.
And waiting for external help.
Waiting for the government. Right. The government will not come to your house. Last time I was here, I was talking about sorting. I think now with the data that we have, landfills are the ones that are producing a lot of carbons, because as much as we are saying a better waste management, we don't have a zero waste management system. This is a zero waste management system that we are saying it starts from home, from the point of production. Since from home, the household waste is a lot. Organics, plastics, we have water waste. So we are supposed to build capacity from home and show people how to sort, how to segregate waste, and even have a system where waste is not taken or waste managed on the same day, because that is when we are seeing people will be mixing waste in one place.
Right.
But in places like California, I have a case study of that. I see people, they are doing waste management in days. There's days for organics, there's days for papers, there's days for plastic.
So there's a sorting mechanism that needs to be implemented.
Right. There's even a tech system where everyone is connected to this system for waste management. So no one can, from the low-income community, people who most of the time they don't even pay waste management fees because they don't have anything
to do that.
They have it.
Right. Now, Beatrice, this year in COP26, what are some of those major heated topics that are going on there?
One of, and I think there are four or five, and they're in terms of goals. One of them is mitigation, and world leaders are coming together to ensure that we keep the 1.5 degrees Celsius goal alive. That every state, every country achieves this before we start walking into our own doom and gloom, death. And then the other one is to ensure that we restore, we conserve every natural resource and every ecosystem that is important when it comes to climate change and climate action. And then the other one is to also mobilize funds. I mean, it has been said that the developed countries are going to give developing countries $100 billion every year to enable us or developing countries to finance us actually to be able to to act on climate. But this is not happening, and I feel so good that our president was able to put that across, that developed countries should start acting on this goal and on this promise that he had committed to. And then the other thing is definitely the working together and collaboration. And as I had said before, that we need to work together. Journalists, business leaders, NGOs, youth leaders and activists have to come together and work together, because collaboration is the new currency.
Mitigation, collaboration, and financing. You've mentioned that President Uhuru Kenyatta backed down, of course, from that, saying that we need to implement local solutions rather than, of course, looking out towards developed nations to finance developing nations for climate action. Do you feel like this is a good stand? Should we be creating local solutions, or should we rally together as a planet, together all the nations come together and amass our resources and focus towards one goal of climate action, or each should individually do that as President Kenyatta has decided for Kenya?
For where I stand, I think COP19 is for 26 is there to bring a carbon finance to Africa, because the developing countries, most of the time, the carbon budget that we are remaining with is because of the developed countries. That's why COP26 was put in place by the big countries and all stakeholders to see how they can help African countries adapt, create resilience, and help every country to fight climate change, because it is happening. It is evident. People are dying. There is drought. There is famine. There is also ozone layer, which you can see with diseases that are coming up that cannot be explained. So the climate change is there, and it is. That's why with the COP26, we are seeing all the leaders are coming here to create carbon finance for this, to reduce the carbon footprint.
But people are saying that this is just a meeting of old white men who have money and have no agenda towards the rest of us. Do you feel that is true, Ndisha? You have attended one of those things. Do you feel like it's it's full of rich white men just talking, not having solutions?
Well, I've had this, and most of my friends usually tell me that this is the case. And what I can say, Richard, is that we've been misrepresented, really, because there are people who really want change and are there actually to ensure that everything goes on well, and leaders come up with action plans for these goals that they had come up with. But in the past, it's 26 years. This is the 26th meeting, actually, and nothing is happening. So I feel like someone who thinks like that really knows what they are saying, because these meetings have been there and nothing is happening. And that is why youth leaders like Akina Elizabeth Waduti, Greta Thunberg are rising up, because these leaders are not going to be there in the next decade.
Right.
We are the ones who are going to be there.
So we need to be there for those.
We need to be there. And that is why I feel so excited when I'm welcomed in those spaces and raise my voice, and also in the leadership positions. So I feel like youth really need to come together, because my famous speaker, TD Jack, says, if you're not in the room where change is happening, you're in the yard where consequences are being felt. So I feel like youth really need to come on board for these things, because they're the ones who are going to feel the heat.
Right.
When the
if you're
leaders
not in the what do you say? If you're not in the
room where change is happening, you're in the yard where consequences are being felt.
Right, and we're trying to move away from those consequences. Now in Kenya, the investment into trying to invest, putting up private and public institutions together, coming up with incentives, the government coming up with incentives for renewable energy. This is some of the things that are happening. The government has also been trying to raise corporate bonds, green corporate bonds. In 2019, as data that I have here, raising 4.3 billion, and of course that shows a huge potential in trying to amass resources towards ensuring that we have renewable energy, and we are taking we are conserving the environment. Now, as we wind up this panel today, as of this year's summit, as it continues in the next, I think, going to be in the next 2 weeks?
12 days.
In the next 12 days. How can we be friends of the planet, ladies?
Simply, we all live in this world, so we all have something for the environment, because the only resource we have is environment. So we should take the first mandate to conserve it. For the first thing I want to tell people is that plant more trees. Trees are the ones can bring us a carbon sink and reduce this menace. Also, I'm saying for us to be included, we have to include everyone from the private, all stakeholders, and youth specifically. Let me bring up the word youth because in this conversation, because youth are the ones who have the innovations. Youth are the ones who live in this environment more than the older people. So we have to anticipate and create resilience and come up with new technologies that will help us create green jobs, innovations that will help even create money out of waste, climate change, because it's really a true thing. Climate change, we feel it. Because you have said that some people are talking about there's no climate change. If it's about the Bible,
some are saying it's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
there's nothing like climate
about
change.
The Bible,
there's no global warming.
They will never come to an end. But climate change, they have an answer because we are feeling it. We are seeing people die of drought. So that is not.
We're seeing very changing weather patterns in very many places. Hurricanes in places they have not been before.
True.
And floods all over. And the president of Brazil is now on notice, has been for quite some time, because he's apparently not, being on the forefront of trying to protect the Amazon, one of the largest rainforests in the world, and now it's being turned into a savanna land. Do you feel like maybe some leaders do not really care about climate action, and what can we do individually to be friends of the planet?
Yeah, I feel like some leaders are still laying back, and I watched the G20 leaders as they were coming in just before the COP26, because they were meeting in Italy faster than they approached to COP26, and every one of them was arriving with in private jets, actually,
which consume a lot of fuel.
Consumes a lot of fuel and has a lot of impact on climate. And I was just wondering, seriously, they're going to commit in the meeting that they're going to, reduce and finance climate action and all these things,
and they're flying from country to country
in private jets. I mean, they could have come in private yachts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's water transport. It's not.
It's more efficient.
Yeah, it's more efficient. But then I don't know. I really think that leaders need to. We need action plans for these goals that they are coming up with. They are going there in the UK to set goals, to set ambitions, high ambitions. But what we need is the action plan and the monitoring and the evaluation of this action plan. Because truth be said, there are very many resources, there are very many projects to do with climate change. But who follows up on them? We need monitoring and evaluation models for the policies that we put in place and the projects and finances that we put in place for climate action. And the last thing that I think we can be friends of nature is, first of all, one person said that by the fact that you're living means that you need to take action to the environment because you're consuming, as my colleague has said. So I feel like youth should come on board again and innovate and create nudges. Nudges are things that I make you feel like you need to do something. Like let me give an example. While I was in France, and there was one leader who was telling us that in Italy, in Italy,
it's already happening.
Yeah, in the supermarkets, they actually put a green carpet. It's like the red carpet for the president. So that when you do something nice, conserving the environment, you are only allowed to work in the green carpet.
Whoa.
It's like the red carpet, yeah. So I feel like we need more of these green nudges to make people, make sustainable choices. And if you have, and this is where I put the plug in. If you have any green idea, I'm working with MK Africa and My Little Big Thing, where we are actually accepting applications for any idea around SDG 12, 13, 14, and 15. That is the green agenda. You can apply on our website at www.mylittlebigthing.com, and you can win cash prizes, mentorship, and develop your green business and solution. So yeah, you come on board.
Right, My MK Africa, My Little Big Thing. Applications are still open
until 9th November.
Right, it's been there for quite some time. So if you have one of those, it's a very easy process that people can check out on their social media platforms. And now to you, sir, you already said that people should vote for you for the CEO of the Year, of course, for that award, and a couple of them as well. I'm seeing here there's a whole category.
There are 4 categories. The first is the Green Advocacy Group. The second is the Friends of the Planet, Excellence in Waste Management, and the 4th one is me as the CEO of the Year, Green CEO of the Year.
Right, congratulations for all these nominations.
Yeah,
You're doing quite some work there. And now for the people who want to know whether you guys have any other activity, a walk, do you have anything organized that is coming up?
As I said, we are Youth Green Society, together with Tamara Kenya and Miss Earth Kenya. We have been given the opportunity by COP26 to host a local action march in Kenya, Nairobi.
Nice.
This is to put Nairobi in the limelight in the fight against climate injustices. And again, I want to call everyone to join this march, from stakeholders, from schools, from universities, from parents, from mamambogas, from everyone, to join this march on Saturday. It's a march that we are going to help our president, as he's the chair of the global giants for the climate change. Let us support him as he chairs that place. Let us be the curtain raisers and come out strongly. I'm also urging the president and the government to make even this Saturday the event bigger,
right?
Because we are supporting them. So
where is it happening?
It is happening in Nairobi. We are starting at Global Cinema. We are going through University of Nairobi, ending at the somewhere around the Supreme Court, taking back the Biashara Street, joining to the Superhighway, where we'll branch to our main venue, where is City Park.
Right.
The reason that we are choosing City Park is because this is a green space that has been neglected. We have seen people are celebrating in these places, but they are leaving this place
not protected, not taken
care of. There's littering, there's depletion of the ecosystem.
A lot of climate injustice.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I think I should also welcome KUTV,
right,
since we have been so much into this climate thing together.
Right.
Let us be there to show the world what is happening in Africa.
What time is it starting, you said?
We are starting at 8 and it will go till 5.
Right.
And it will be, we are God willing, and for the organization how it is, it will be aired in COP26
right.
directly.
Right.
And
nice.
again, we are talking about youth and green startups. If you think you are a youth startup, I will urge you and encourage you to come through to participate in this event through our link that we'll be sharing in our social media pages. We also have letters. Please go through those links, get into the event through those links so that you can be noticed even in COP26.
Right.
Because
right.
that is the link that is connecting the world.
All right. So while it streams there, of course, as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And, maybe last words, guys, as we, of course, wait to see what happens the next 12 days as that summit happens in the COP26, and also as we continue with Biashara Tuesday. Disha, your last words.
I thought men first. The boy child has been forgotten.
Boy child, you have the privilege to step on the red carpet.
It's
right.
Okay. You have given me the privilege?
Definitely.
Okay. For me, it's only to call on everybody to go green. If we want to increase the food security, if we want to have reduced health habits, if we want to have reduced illnesses, the only thing you can do is conserve the environment and be clean and green. That is all my call.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dennis Kimani. And, as I always say, I hope I can have you again, and which usually also happens. Again and again, we'll do this until watu huko nyumbani wasikie the message that we're trying to bring them on climate action. Disha.
Okay, thank you. Before I say something, I just want to remind you that over 2 million people in Kenya are actually facing starvation, and people are not going to school because of hunger, because of food. Those are students. So what I need from you, even as COP26 goes on, is that we start by changing our own mindsets first. We need to understand that this is climate crisis and humanity is on the verge of extinction. So if we do not act, if you do not act by yourself, you have to be coerced, then we are in the brink. We are walking into our own doom. So everyone, as my colleague has said, be clean, be green, ensure that you follow up the conversation that is going on, joining a youth movement, joining a movement where there is conservation. Because like another speaker said, if you hang around a barber shop, not long enough, you will also have a haircut. So, so if you hang around these climate movements and activists, right, you also will find yourself conserving and making the world a better place. So everyone, youth watching me, you can go into our page, My Little Big Thing, website, apply. I am also going to be a speaker at the Vijana Tupo initiative. You can also log into that website and check out and also register for the event that I will be speaking at. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you very much, Beatrice, for coming through, and I hope I can have you here again. The conversation is still on climate action and climate change, as of course we're waiting for COP26 to come to an end in the next few days. President Kenyatta has said that local solutions are way better than waiting for developing countries to come through and help us and finance us towards that climate action. Now, later on, don't go too far, coming back with another guest on set, focused on, they have a startup that is also, of course, in line still with the conversation we're having, and they're doing a startup on air pollution that is indoor, and they're doing the statistics and of course giving you solutions on how to do the purification of air pollution that happens indoor. Because you're indoor and you're watching the show, see, that's something you want to watch, so don't go too far. This is still Biashara Tuesday.